It's such a wonderful thing to see all y'all smiling faces out there. Thanks for being part of what I consider the greatest aviation enthusiast group on the planet. People that really, truly love aviation and want to share and give it back and bring it on to the future and make it something that's relevant for many, many years to come. So thank you all for all that you do. Nancy and I wake up every morning blessed to be part of this family. Thank you for bringing us in and letting us stay here, because it could have been easily somewhere else, but y'all let us stay here, so thank you for that. And then most importantly, at this particular time, we have an obligation. We have an obligation to ourselves and our countrymen and those who have gone before us that gave us a chance to do what we're doing right here today, and that's exercise our freedom in America. So if you please stand and join me, we're going to do the national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Thank you, man. Now, if you'll join me in the pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Jeff, you out there somewhere? Come on up. Where's Jeff?
You may be seated. Good morning to all of you this morning. In the book of Ecclesiastes, in Scripture, chapter 3, it says, there's a time for everything under the sun, every season, every activity under heaven. It says there's a time to plant, a time to uproot, a time to tear down, a time to build, a time to weep and a time to laugh, a time to mourn and a time to dance, a time to scatter stones and a time to gather them, a time to embrace and a time to refrain from embracing. And it also says there's a time to be born and a time to die. And today I'm going to take just a second to remember those men and women who served right here alongside us, that sat in this room with us. Special men and women who were gifts to us and people we called friends. Arnold Allen, Leroy Bowe, Gary Collins, Joan Cooper, Lyle Flagg, Larry Gronsky, Lynn Grove, Jeannie Hill, Byron Jordan, Michael Mesha, Roscoe Morton, Cliff Mullins, Wayne Owens, Steve Oxman, Bob, Paul Mateer, Jim Pappas, Mel Scherf, Tom Skeel, Bill Smathers, Walt Stivers, and Byron Varner. It has been said that those we love remain with us, for love itself lives on. Cherished memories never fade because a loved one is gone. Those we love can never be more than a thought apart. For as long as there is a memory, they'll live on in our heart. Shall you pray, please? Lord, we thank you for this. I thank you for the men and women in this room that give of their time and talent so freely. So, Father, today we ask that you will be with us, be with the families that we represent, our sons, our daughters, our grandchildren, wherever they are today. Bless them in a mighty way. Be with us today, Father, as we take care of business, but in the midst of everything, Lord, may we make special memories today, and may we never forget those special friends that you gave us the honor to serve and to love. We ask all these things in your name, and everyone said, amen.
Thanks, Jeff. Interesting to note that of those names up there, a couple of them put in Herculean effort for many, many years, and they're going to be recognized, just so it's clear. On our volunteer day on Thursday, we're going to have a ceremony out in front of the Tom Davis Aerospace Education Center, adjacent to the Piedmont Aerospace Lab. And we're going to recognize Lyle Flagg in Lyle Flagg Way, which is a new road named for him. Additionally, announcer stand, which was populated in Morton for many, many years, the voice of Sun and Fun, will be aptly named permanently the Roscoe Morton announcer stand. So, therefore, on Thursday, it should be a nice recognition of long-term volunteer effort. Okay. Special guests, and we have a few of those here today. Unfortunately, one of the guests was unable to make it. We had the reader for the FAA, Doug Murphy out of Atlanta, who last night, unfortunately, had to come to business with the FAA. So he's with us today. But we do have Diane Fromm was supposed to be here. There's Diana. Thank you very much. She's the FAASTeam manager in Orlando. And let's make something really clear here. The FAA, under like all government agencies, are under a lot of financial scrutiny. And Diana is fighting tooth and nail to keep this facility alive for us. We think it's an asset not only to Sun and Fun, but to the region, to the entire Lakeland, Orlando, Tampa, Central Florida region as an access to the men and women that work at the FAA to make things better and not to have to go and explain why you're getting a pilot cancellation. Okay, so she's here to help on a preemptive measure to save this and not let it go away. Karen O'Farrell, our south of the border Irish girl who runs the facility. Miguel Vasquez, are you here? There he is, Miguel. Thanks. She's coming over here as traffic controller. We also have, is Gene in the back there? He's right here. There he is, Gene. He'll be up here in a moment. But I need to bring up a special guest that's here today. I could have Nan Walsh report to the stage front and center, please. Come on, Nan. Come on, Nan. Not only is Nan Gene's alter ego, she's the mastermind behind John Walsh's 29 years of decision making. Okay. Really? 29 years. Man has been managing John to be a successful guy, and he wanted to say thank you. You bet. I think it's really cool when any marriage goes past 5 years. So, God bless him. All right. Now, my most important special guest is my mentor, teammate, best buddy, Harley riding friend, and the guy that tells me when I'm wrong direction and gets me back on track. Mr. Bob Knight, chairman of the board. Please come on up, sir.
Well, first, I want to thank Lights for getting his uniform right today. I'm really happy to be here as a volunteer, and because, you know, we're all volunteers. Well, we've got good staff, but I think maybe they volunteer as they work. That if we paid them by the hour, we wouldn't be in business, I don't think. But among our volunteers are our board members. And I think we have a lot of them here today, so I'd like for them to all stand up and be recognized. You know, they do put in a lot of time and make a big difference in our operation. And unfortunately, two of our board members, Lyle and Rosca, passed away this year. So we'll always keep them in our thoughts. And I'm looking forward to seeing you volunteers tonight, hopefully at the boil that you're going to have. And later on during the fly-in, we'll have another little party get together for the volunteers to show you how much we appreciate everything that you do. And let's get on with the show.
Okay, the folks that I ride like rented mules, derby ponies, work their little tails off all year round. I'd like to have the Sun and Fun staff please stand in place, all right? Come on, there you go. Thank you all very much. They have done a Herculean effort this year, because not only are they engaged in putting this magnanimous event together, but we now task them with doing a myriad of other ones. And literally, there is not a single weekend that we don't do something now that's helping Sun and Fun grow. So you will see, tonight is no exception. This afternoon, we have a wedding over at Hangar A. Tomorrow, we've got a church group in the pavilion. And it just goes on and on and on. The dog show is here. And I'd like to pass to you that this is a red letter day for us. We just did a handshake deal with the Carlisle events out of Carlisle, Pennsylvania, to bring their car show, auction, and flea market to Sun and Fun starting 2015. And that will be literally over $100,000 improvement to the financial portfolio of Sun and Fun, and two major events in February and in November that will be thousands, tens of thousands of people onto this airfield in conjunction with airplanes that will fly in to participate in the car auction. For the folks that love cars, love airplanes as well. So as many of y'all that fly like ourselves that have your cars in the garage that you love to play with. So this is a real positive event going on at Sun. And that staff that you just looked at right there is ridden hard every day to make that happen. There's no more days off, no more vacation days. It's really a nonstop, round-the-clock effort to make this thing on. Okay. Can I get the early stand up in place? My early bird out in the campground. All right. They started coming in here and populating campground back in October, and they rounded up the 15th of January. And due to their efforts, you can look around the campus now, our 170 acres, and see just absolutely gorgeous out there. The trees have all been trimmed. The flower babes are putting flowers everywhere. Lewis came in with a semi-truckload just this last week of tons of flowers to put out. All the buildings have been repainted. The effort is endless, and it's only because they're here every day making it happen, so we thank you for that. Okay? Next. Well, what'd y'all think when you drove in? Looks different, doesn't it? Yeah. You got to have a mission. You got to have a purpose. And Sun and Fun has always had one, but we're putting a focus and a laser light of love on it, and we're bringing it out and showing it to the world. We're really about the future of aviation, about building the population of those involved in it back up to a standard that we saw back in the 70s and 80s that we sort of lost over the last few years. The Aerospace Center for Excellence, the sign's not on the building yet, but right there where the Florida Air Museum is, it will say Aerospace Discovery at Florida Air Museum. And it's a centerpiece of all of our aerospace buildings, all 7 of them. And then, of course, you saw the end result of my short landing skills when I parked the 727 right there next to the high school. All right. Thank God for reversers. I'd have never stopped it. Okay? It was just like landing on the carrier without the wires. So, but that's a pretty cool asset out there, and it's in the process of becoming a laboratory. It will be open during the fly-in for people to travel through there, and then after the fly-in, we will start the creation of a classroom laboratory for young men and women to understand how airplanes work. So that's a really cool piece, and that whole front area is just, well, I think it'll change the image of what we do here at Sun and Fun for the general population to come out. So next. Just repeat, deserves a repetition that we can never forget. We are professionals. We come from professional lives all across the planet, and we come here to put on a professional event. And when we do that, when you do that, the end result is every person that comes here goes home the same way they got here, happy and content. They're a safe, positive environment for the conduct of aviation activities. That's what we're here to do. So you make that happen. I can't do it, but each one of you can. So when you see something going wrong, and I said this is the last one, I'll repeat it right now. Every one of you in here, every one of the volunteers has a red flag in the back of their pocket, just like the coach does on the sideline of the Super Bowl. And when we think something's going wrong, you throw the red flag, we stop, do a replay, figure out what we're doing. Are we doing it right? If we are, continue. If we're doing it wrong, stop, recalculate, and move forward. But none of us are allowed to watch as something goes south. You are just as big a problem as the person doing it if you don't get involved. So I appreciate everyone's support in making sure that we do it right for 2014. Okay? You're the ones that do it. Everybody sees you out there. Your face is the face of Sun and Fun. So when a guy or gal walks up to that registration, the first thing they see is you. The first thing they see in the parking lot is you. The first person they see at Paradise City, at Home Built, Warbird Ramp, in the exhibit area, it's each and every one of you. And if you're having a bad day, they're going to have a bad day. If you're having a good day, how may I help you? They're going to have a good day. And then they tell their friends, because our job is to make them happy and satisfied that the price they paid to get in that gate was worth every dime of it. We just saw they raised the rates over at Disney and Universal. It's $99, $100. We're $37, $32 if you're a member of any aviation organization. And we do group rates for school kids and large numbers over 20 and drop the price down to 25. So we're a bargain deal for what you get, but it's only a bargain if you walk away happy. If that person's not happy, it was not a bargain. You make that happen. So please keep up that positive atmosphere, that Southern hospitality, that good attitude, because that's what it's all about. And when you're thinking about how to treat somebody, treat them like it's your best friend, and we're going to have rave reviews. I can tell you that people right now call constantly, and when they're talking about what happened at Sun and Fun, they're saying, wow, I can really tell that the folks there like us. They want us to be there. They're enjoying it. So you're doing a great job. Please keep going with that. I can't say enough about it. All right, what's it got it for us? Well, because of our Aerospace Center for Excellence, and we're building a brighter future through aviation, and we're putting kids in cockpits and maintainers on airplanes, the mayor, for the first time in the history of Sun and Fun, is going to sponsor a breakfast for all the city leaders, the commissioners, and the Chamber of Commerce to come out here on the 13th of March, and they're going to tell the story and get the city back involved. We've been working for this for quite some time. We finally crossed over that hurdle, that speed bump, and the new mayor is on board. I read the letter he's going to put into our program. I don't know who wrote it for him, but he hit the nail on the head. He didn't put anything in there about, oh, come see our beautiful lakes and see the Lakeland Center and see the swans. His whole theme was, Sun and Fun is here for the future. You need to be a part of it. So it's a great emphasis on what we're trying to accomplish. Yeah. First Friday, 40th anniversary. First Friday, we're going to have, it's going to be this coming Friday. I'd like to see all of y'all out there that are in the local area or want to travel over to it. It's a huge downtown event. We're going to have a lot of airplanes flying. Chapter 454 is going to help us put airplanes in the sky, and we're going to fly around the downtown area for about 30 minutes. And then we've got a band playing, and we've got all kinds of concessionaires out there to promote coming to Sun and Fun, and lots of giveaways. So please support that one. Everybody's heard the big issue, experience Kissimmee. How many people have heard the controversy? It's been in the newspaper. Please understand, we are teammates with our friends at the Polk Tourism and Sports Marketing Visit Central Florida. Heaven knows we let them paint the their Visit Central Florida building right next to our headquarters in some questionable colors. But by golly, it's got attention. So that's a good thing. Please understand, they are our #1 supporters, and they will help us with paying for the controllers this year. That's part of a teaming effort. But if we wanted to keep our support mechanisms confined to only Polk County, we'd never be able to grow and expand our horizons. So we didn't reach out, but Experience Kissimmee reached out to us when they saw us at the Governor's Conference on Tourism and wanted to join us. And we are not going to say no to cash and advertising. I don't know if anybody saw some of the YouTube stuff, but they got Canada talking about us because of their outreach. And on YouTube, they're selling the Canadians to come down out of the snow and come into Kissimmee and visit Sun and Fun. I think that's awesome. Additionally, Tampa International Airport, for the first time, is going to give us all their electronic kiosks and all the ones down there in the baggage pickup area, and as you walk through the building, electronic signs for 5- and 10-second advertisements on Sun and Fun International Fly-In and Expo. You can't afford to miss it. So they're going to, that's something we've never had before. At the end of the day, we at Sun and Fun would like to have a partnership with Experience Kissimmee, Osceola County, also with Hillsborough, Pinellas. I'd like to think that the state, one day, the governor will say, Sun and Fun is Florida's very own international fly-in. That day is in the near future. I truly believe it. It's a start right there. Now, we ready to roll this commercial? Before you roll it, we're going after two. Everybody understands that our event for 6 days really goes after two major groups. One are the aviation enthusiasts. They come all week long, but they come Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday are their big days. We get another influx of folks on Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and that is the stroller brigade, the carny goers, the folks that love the thrill of the air show. And that's good because it helps our bottom line, and they're great folks. Who knows, we might pick up a few of them and turn them into aviation enthusiasts. That's the idea. Well, to go after that second group, we put up an ad together that was going to roll on TV, both in Tampa and in Orlando this year, and go for the gusto. So here it is. Unfortunately, what didn't get shown up there was the verbiage that goes with that. And how many people listen to the commercial on it's Sunday, 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 big truck racing down at the fairgrounds? Well, that's who the guy is, okay? So, it's... No, I'm pretty happy with this one right here. I don't need another one. Okay, so that's coming up. So look forward to seeing that one, and we're going to use that quite regularly. All right, things that are happening. To add a few of what you saw last time, Tuesday in the evening, and Christine will talk a little bit more about this, but please put on your calendars. Tell your friends, tell your neighbors. Tuesday evening, 7 o'clock in the Aerospace Pavilion. We've got AOPA's President Mark Baker, EAA's President Jack Pelton, NBAA's President Ed Boland, and Mark Zucuric, the President of Helicopter Association International, are going to stand up there on that stage, and they're each going to get 15 to 20 minutes to tell the audience what can we do to bring enthusiasm and excitement back to aviation as a career, as a business asset, or as a hobby. But get people back into airplanes. Get out there and support them. If we don't show, then we're not showing interest. We really need to be there. It's an hour and a half, and question and answer will happen after that. But those guys are there as our leaders, and they have a voice in Congress, a voice in the FAA. They're there to help us fold, make, and develop a plan to move forward. We can be part of that. So don't miss that Tuesday evening. Governor's coming on Wednesday for a Brighter Future Day. That's our education day. A lot of school tours out here. The governor hopefully will be in here along with JetBlue. The governor's promised. We'll see. We'll all hold our fingers on that one. but it's the first time he would have been here purposely in the history of Sun and Fun. Thursday is Volunteer Day. That's your day. We're really excited to put that on because it's 40 years of an event that couldn't have survived without selfless giving of each and every one of you to come out here and make it happen. It didn't happen with paid people. It just can't. It's impossible. We don't have the revenue that other organizations do. So that's our day. Part of that day, we haven't decided the place, but at 8 o'clock in the morning, we're going to ask everybody to wear their volunteer shirt, and we're going to mass up and make a great big 4-0 and have an airplane fly over and take a photo of it. Okay? I'll get the word out where it's going to be. It's going to be in a core area where it's easy to get around, but at 8 o'clock, as many volunteers as possible to make a 40 out there, and then an aerial flyby for a photograph for that. Also on Thursday, we're going to have the Sprint 40 and Cat Shot. All right? We're bringing, I didn't say we're bringing racing back to Sun and Fun, but we've got a performance evaluation, and it's going to look and smell like it, but it's going to be a performance evaluation. So don't miss that. It'll be in the home build area. That's a new addition. Friday morning at 10 to noon, we're bringing in about 1,000 high school and college students, and they're going to get a presentation from the Blue Angels. Rather than sending them out to all the different schools, we're bringing them here. And then we're going to turn them loose on the campus after the 12 to noon. After they get the presentation by the Blue Angels, then they'll be able to go out into the campus and hopefully become more inspired and someday tell someone, you know, that day I went to Sun and Fun, it turned my life around. So that's the goal. We don't go out to them, we bring them to us. Neat thing on Saturday for Florida residents, it's our BOGO weekend. Buy one, get one. You buy on Saturday, you get to come back on Sunday for free. We're really pushing to bring people out on Sunday. Saturday and Sunday also, to inspire people to come out, we're going to have a car and motorcycle show. 1974, when the idea was spawned, that year and earlier, we'll allow cars to come in with a driver and a guest for free and park in the southeast exhibit area, and we've got a car show chairman now, and they will actually fill that area up with vintage vehicles for people to look at as they walk through the gates on the way to airplanes. Again, cars and airplanes kind of go together with people that like to play with toys. And on Friday, when we start the 100th anniversary of aerial combat, we've worked really hard to bring the warbird community back. Right now, we have a verbal commitment from Glacier Girl, the P-38, an F-7F Tiger Cat, which hadn't been here. I don't think it's ever been here. Steve Hinton flying it out of Texas. Bringing in a P-47 for the first time, Hunt Hunter 2 out of Tennessee. The B-17 is going to be here selling rides all day long. Tinkerbell from the Valiant Air Command is going to be in here selling rides. So we have a larger cadre of exotic warbirds coming in than we've seen in a long time. Now, it's all predicated on weather, mechanical issues, but we've got over the phone, we're coming. And that is going to be highlighted on Friday through Sunday as the 100th anniversary of aerial combat. All right, next. Air show hours, a little bit different, only because, if you weren't here last time, when the Blue Angels show up on Thursday, they take a 2-hour block from noon to 2. At 2 o'clock, we're going to put Judy Rice to launch her on Around the World, get people excited about aviation tour. So she will fly out of here with Buzz Aldrin. Okay, going to be kind of cool, so you don't want to miss that. She'll be on the flight. She'll be parked. Her airplane will be parked Tuesday, Wednesday out by our 727, the front gate. Then on Wednesday evening, we're moving it to flight line, and then Thursday at 2 o'clock after the Blue Angels land on their arrival procedures, then she will take off on her Around the World tour and she will actually go through Oshkosh later in the year as she's doing different stops around the U.S. before she heads overseas. So it's a real positive piece to our program. And then Friday, Saturday, Sunday, 1 to 4, 5:30. That's because we have the Raptor and we have the Blue Angels, and we've got so many great air show performers that have supported Sun and Fun over the years. You can't just tell them, no, you can't come. They want to come. They come for free. Yes, we do put them in hotel rooms, but they don't charge us their show performance fee, and you just can't say no to them because they really want to start the air show season right here at Sun and Fun. This is where it all begins. So fireworks to celebrate our Saturday. Our Saturday is going to be the big night with the air show, and we'll see the we have 2 big acts and then about 6 more night acts up leading to the fireworks, and hopefully that'll be a huge event. Okay, next. Yeah, Tri-Motors giving rides. Lakeland Aero Club kids, high school students, they're the marshalers. Please show them, help them, but show them the respect. They've been tasked with taking on adult responsibilities. They're working with the EAA, so the EAA's Tri-Motor is going to be selling rides right out of the throat of the Warbird northwest corner, and when they do that, the marshals will be our high school EAA Lakeland Aero Club kids. The B-17 is going to operate off the south end of the ramp of 523, down at the south end of actually runway 5, and they'll taxi out Bravo, so they'll be flying every day. The Helldiver will be flying off the ramp. We just found out the other day that Tinkerbell is going to be flying here as well. We don't know where we're going to put her, but yet to be determined. The Heritage helicopters, I don't know how many people flew in those. They had a line all day long, every day. I tell you what, it's a cool event. So they're back, they're excited, and they'll be flying as well. And then, of course, the new standard. We also have an addition. We're going to be doing, remember, years ago we used to do a thing called Dawn Patrol here? Remember those days? You know, when I used to sleep out in town, and I'd get up every morning at around 7 o'clock, and here comes a B-17 or B-25, and I got a P-38, a P-40, and they're flying around. We're going to do it again. All right? We've asked them to participate in that, so we're bringing that back to tell Lakeland, wake up, show's on out at the airport, get your heinies out there, okay? All right, next. The reenactors are going to move to the west side. They're going to camp on the other, between the ramp and the taxiway, which is going to be a good thing. There's more of them this year. The commercial gate back on the east, we're trying to keep that down to more pedestrian traffic. Though people can drive in there, but we're trying to reduce that. And I know there's a lot of us in here that are aware of the east traffic coming in through the eastern gate and then going down Doolittle and driving through Paradise City. In a perfect world, I like to have all those cars go through the transporter at the gate and magically appear over on the Warbird ramp or on the main display area. It doesn't happen. They got to physically get there. We're trying to control that, keep the speeds down, reduce the number, but it's not a perfect world, so we're just going to have to deal with it until we can get a magic highway that gets them across everybody into the core area. Chopper Town is still there. It'll be named Chopper Town. I've already talked to the chairman. He's out there with their setup for transient aircraft. They're going to be allowed to fly folks out there if they want to do it. Most of the helicopter operations are going to be done right there in Paradise City in conjunction with the LSA and the ultralights. So that worked pretty well. We ironed out some more issues we found last year, but it's going to be a more robust area again this year. A lot of folks like that, so it's growing. Echo 1 is going to split the yellow lot. It'll be better grass. I'll let Gene talk to it in a minute, but it's a much more pristine area. There'll be a giant taxiway through it, but it will be a better area for parking, not only for them, but for the Paradise City campers, which have all new hookups now. And then there's an RC runway in the main parking lot. It's Frank Tiano put it out there. It's a great thing. He's taken it off of the Paradise City area, moved it to the main parking lot. It's hard surface. You'll be able to drive across it. It'll be part of the parking area. And you have some fencing out there, but it really will not change anything we're doing in our parking lot. One of the other things you noticed around here, all the airplanes are parked out on the ramp. Remember I told you we're doing a lot more with our hangars? All of Kermit Weeks' stuff from Fantasy of Flight, along with our aircraft, have been outside for several weeks as we move them around dog show, weddings, birthdays, and we rent Hangar A. It's generating substantial revenue. Well, I talked to Kermit. It was mutually agreed that all of his airplanes need to go back over to Fantasy of Flight because all we're doing is moving them in and moving them out of Hangar A. So they're going back over there this month, and Hangar A will cease to be an annex to the museum. You know, our museum typically had people walking down there, but it really was not that cost effective, and we can get more use out of that hangar, and those airplanes weren't ours, and we were spending a lot of manpower moving them constantly back and forth, in and out. So it's worked out to everybody's benefit, and Kermit's very happy with it. Okay, next one. No aircraft auction. We're not going to have, the veterans area is hopefully going to be robust again this year. Golf carts and vehicles between Shower House A Everybody knows where Shower House A is? Okay, there was a road there that when you come through the gate, that road is not going to be accessible this year. And the reason is because that area was sold as an exhibit to square it off between the Seaplane Pilots Association building and the Cessna building. So the road that we'll all take is going to be through south of the Shower House A. It's a gravel road and circles around and joins back up going into where the flying magazine tent is, right there just south of the Cessna building. So we'll just drive around there, and you can't go through there. And one of the things that we had a problem with was some of the folks in our golf carts were driving through exhibit areas. Please, please don't do that. Tell all your folks. Those the exhibitors pay big dollars to exhibit their wares. They do not need us driving our golf carts through their areas. If you're in that big of a rush, you've totally mismanaged your time, okay? This isn't a relaxing experience. Take your time, enjoy the drive, follow the roads. We're trying to keep the number of golf carts reduced into the core area. That's a #1 goal. But in light of that, I know some of you have to get to different places. Just follow the roads, stay out of the exhibit areas. Please, please, please. If you can help us. People still smoke. That's their choice. Not going to run them off, but let's give them a place to do it. Help those that are smoking go to the designated smoking areas. There are areas, we're putting chairs in there, benches, picnic tables, hopefully in shaded areas. This does not try to be rude to a group of folks that choose to smoke. That's totally their business. We want them to come here, but we want them to do it in an area that doesn't interfere with everybody else. So please help us when you see someone smoking. Say, hey, excuse me, sorry, you can't smoke here, it's over there. And that goes back to knowing your campus, know your air show, know your flying. Make sure you know where everything is, and you've got your handy map, because your shirts, they have this on it. On the back it says volunteer staff. They're going to ask you questions. Please be ready to answer that and help them find what they need. That's just like, you know, Disney can raise their rate to $100 because you don't see trash over there, and every single one of those characters got a smiley face on, and how may I help you is in their lips before you can ask the question. That's why they charge $100, and people apparently gleefully pay for it. I can't, but they do. All right. Okay. Unfreeze Your Bird. We've got a book. I announced it last month. Bud Davidson put together a very well-written accounting of the creation of Sun and Fun. It's called Unfreeze Your Bird, the story of Sun and Fun. It's not the 40-year history. It's everything he knows up till now. He interviewed a lot of folks. We're buying 600 soft copies. We're buying 300 hard copies. And it's going to be a first come, first served, except for those that signed up. And you can sign up again in the back, correct? Yes. You can. There should be a book. Bud, is there a sign up back there? Right there. So if you want a hard copy, you got to sign up for it. Now don't get me wrong, we'll order more later, but it's available to you. We'd like you to have it, and we will sell that to the public until they're gone, and then we'll order more. But we're not going to extend ourselves so far as to end up with a stack of them at the end of the day. It's meant to be available to, honestly, I think that it's mostly for all of us. A few guests that have come regularly might want one, but it's really about the folks that have volunteered here. But it's the best rendition and accounting of what really transpired to get us here. Okay, next. All right. That's pretty much it. I'm going to turn over to Gene Conrad because he's the man with the plan. And God love me, he's my brother from another mother. And he is the biggest supporter of Sun and Fun you could ever hope to have. Thank you, Gene. Come on up.
Well, that's quite the introduction. Good morning, everybody. This is actually my 5th Sun and Fun now as the airport director, and I'm still here, so I guess I haven't screwed it up too bad. Just to talk to you a little bit about what's going on at the airport. Obviously, during the rest of the year, actually yesterday, we did 650 operations yesterday out on the field. I know I was with the site planning committee yesterday. We were talking about a whole litany of different things at the airport and projects that we're doing, and we were talking about last week, and we did about 478 one day, 450, 423. Obviously, there were nice days, but yesterday we did 650. Brett told me with our ops staff yesterday. Plus, we were switching runways, so most of the day we were on a one runway operation. So that's quite the impact. And to be honest, a lot of that obviously is coming from what this organization has done for the last 40 years, what that school is doing, what the staff does here at Sun and Fun. It is unbelievable. When I got here, we had 0 flight schools. We now have 5. It is insane. Plus, all the other flight schools around Florida, they're hearing about what a great place this is to be, and they want to be here. Our controllers at the tower are great, and it's unbelievable what's happening. We're just very proud of it. We love Sun and Fun. I think obviously everything that they're doing, we're super excited about, and that we are 100,000% behind your goal, your mission, what everybody's working to strive for. And you know, we're there to not say no. We're there to say yes, or figure out a way to say yes and facilitate to make sure these things are happening for y'all. So congratulations to y'all, and thanks for your partnership. Oh, I had one other bit. And in that 650 operations yesterday, we even landed a glider, by the way. So just want to throw that in there. So I know you probably saw some of this last time when Brett was up here last month. I was down in Naples with my father-in-law. He loves aviation, but I was down there hanging out with them, doing some family time. But again, our ARF station, the walls are going up. Something to talk about specifically about crash fire rescue this year. We do have 2 trucks, so obviously you see 2 bays there. We will have 1 truck stationed on the north side, and obviously the big green truck will be on the south side. So we worked with the Lakeland Fire Department, and both those trucks will be staffed during the event. God forbid, hopefully they don't have to ever be used and we don't ever see them, but we will have both trucks staffed. I think that will be great. Just improves the safety of our operation and everything that we do out here, and we appreciate the Lakeland Fire Department for their support. We talked a little bit about the runway already, but we are all done with the runway. We'll come back after Sun and Fun. We have to do some grooving. We're going to restripe 927, but everything is complete at this point. There will be no more closures until we close 523, I believe, on March 21st. So we're done with the runway work at this point. Talking about Echo 1, I know some of my good friends' most favorite subject matter. This is a huge project for us. Obviously, actually I was over there yesterday. They're moving a 727 back and forth, doing some engine runs on it because they just uploaded the engines, and it's getting ready to fly out of here. But actually one of the mains were in the grass when they're trying to make the turn on the old Echo 1. It's obviously not sufficient at this point. We have Draken back there. Draken just bought another 28 airplanes from Czechoslovakia, so their fleet's up to 70. So a tremendous amount of activity back there by Airside Center now. So this is a huge project for us. I know there's a lot of activity still occurring. Just to give you a picture, my good friend, my brother from another mother, Lights over here, took this picture yesterday, but they were working diligently. The plan is on Monday they will start paving. They will be complete, and we will have that taxiway open on Friday. I did look at the weather forecast. It does look like there's some rain, but actually our contractor, Ranger contractors, they're a really good contractor for us, and they're moving along pretty quickly. So that will actually be paved up Friday, ready to go. The old culvert to the west on Doolittle, we've replaced that as well, and it's twice as wide as it used to be. So you'll be able to travel over it with vehicles and then walk on both sides of it. I know there used to just be that one little lane for pedestrian traffic. Now it's double the size, and you'll be able to walk on both sides. But all the old ditches, all those big ditches that used to be there, all of those are now gone, and they're diligently rolling sod as we speak. In regards to the sod, I think that we probably have about 60% coverage right now. They're going to be sodding all day today. They also have someone that's dedicated. They're coming out here at night to water all night, every night, to make sure we get the turf ready to go. But to my friends that are in this area, if there are any issues when you get out there, obviously our staff is always available. We can get with the contractor. If there are specific things you need us to do or address in those areas, we will make that happen. So hang in there with us. We're moving diligently, moving quickly, and this is going to be a great addition to, you know, the yellow lot. Obviously, Bob Hiley, our seaplane folks, it would probably be much better next year as far as the turf. But, you know, we'll get through this year. But, again, if there are any issues whatsoever, please let us know early so we can help you address that and take care of that. Oh, those are not my notes. Also, just to talk a little bit, the air show performer parking this year, we had gone back and forth with Wayne and Lights and everybody on where exactly we're going to do this. You know, going through it, you know, we like to throw things against the wall and see if they're going to stick. Sometimes they don't, and we go back to what we used to do. Obviously, Airside Center is full at this time, but we went over to our friends at RDI, Rob Denick Interiors, and they're going to allow Sun and Fun to use their hangar for the air show performers this year, so they'll still be on the south side. We think logistically, obviously, that works a lot better. We don't need to move performers from the north side to the south side, so we're going to stick with that plan. They've been very gracious to allow us to use their hangar. for the air show performers, so they'll still be on the south side. All the aircraft, our big friend, the big DHL Yellowbird that's out there, actually that's getting demoed next week. So that will be out of here as long as with one of those other 737s and the other 737s on the southwest ramp, we call it now. We'll talk about that a little later. But those aircraft will be moved out of the way as well. Just to let you know, those aircraft are being babysit by our heavy MRO FMS Florida Modification Specialist on the south side. For the narrow bodies, they pay us $300 a month to park there, and the DHL has been paying us $600 a month to park there. So pavement that otherwise would get beat down by the sun all year, we're actually generating revenue off of it. But those airplanes will be out of the way, and it'll be ready to go for Sun and Fun. Talking about the Southwest Ramp real quick. The Southwest Ramp, anybody working in that area, that is our 2015 project, so our next year's project. So after Sun and Fun this year, probably before Sun and Fun, we'll start the design, and we're going to demolish that ramp next year, and then have that ready to go for Sun and Fun in 2015. So it's going to be double the size that it is now. Obviously, we're going to address all the utilities, all the water that's out there, but it's going to be an awesome addition to obviously everything we do. Anyway, I think that's a run-up, actually, that's 727. So the Southwest Ramp will be a great addition. It'll be twice as big as it is now, and we're also going to be doing the ramps on the north side with the FBO as well next year. But that won't affect what we're doing here. Can we go tell them to? Yeah. Also, one other item, since we're talking about the Echo One area in Paradise City, real quick. We also received a grant from James Ray. We're going to extend the grass strip for next year. It's going to be additional 600 feet long, and we're going to have a grass strip that we're going to use here on a year-round basis here at Lakeland Linder. So obviously, I'm sure during Sun and Fun, they'll shrink it for their needs. But during the rest of the year, we'll have about 2,400 feet, 2,500 feet available for folks to use that grass strip on a year-round basis. And also, real quick, I know that you saw this last week, but with the air traffic control tower, we're at our 30% design actually right now, 147 feet tall. We'll be on the north side. All righty. Hey, he loves Sun and Fun. So, yeah. So this is, a rendering of our new tower. So it's going to be a big facility, and we're at 30% right now, so we plan on putting the project out to bid this summer, and then we would go to construction hopefully by the end of the year, if not the first of the year next year. So it won't be ready for probably till Sun and Fun 2016 or 17. Probably take us a year and a half to build, but there it is, and it's going to be a big asset for us. Also, just talk about air traffic controllers real quick for the FAA, our friends who come in for this event. Obviously, our reimbursable is in place. It's about $272,000 this year. Last year it was $284,500, but we came in about $202,000. We expect to come in the same range this year, and we also expect the same setup as far as our friends with the state, the city of Lakeland, the airport, our friends at Visit Central Florida, and Sun and Fun to cover the cost. So we've done a great job. I think last year out of pocket for Sun and Fun, after we went through all that we went through, was about $25,000. So obviously we're a big supporter of this event. And on a side note, I don't know if you knew this or not, but myself and Bob Knight, your chairman, we went up to Washington, D.C. Last month. We met with the FAA administrator. We know it's difficult times. We know they can't always do what we want them to do, but just to show them some appreciation, obviously, for the partnership, for what they do. We don't necessarily agree with it. We don't necessarily like it, but it is what it is. I believe in talking with Lights and some of our other folks in the aviation industry. I believe there's another way forward to do something different. But we had to get through this one more year, and we'll work diligently next year to see if we can do something different. But at least the plans and the reimbursables in place for the next 5 years. And we were very strong in our words in regards to we can't have a fluctuation in how much this is going to cost every year. We need to know what it is so we can plan accordingly, and we can make this happen. Obviously we all want to have a very, very safe event. This event is very, very unique, just like Oshkosh. We looked at other ways to do it, and to be honest, I don't think there is another way, because obviously there are lives at stake, and knock on wood, we don't want anything bad to happen. So this is the best way forward at this time. Just talk about security real quick and getting access to the field. I know folks are a little antsy. Let's just talk about the March 21st date real quick. Contractually with Echo One, that was our date for them to be done with Echo One. Obviously, they're going to be done a lot before that. So we had initially talked about March 21st, but we're going to look to get you out there for March 14th. Now, in saying that, each one of the chairmen are going to need to work diligently with Don Huey, Laura Vaughn, or any of your other folks that your liaisons with the Sun and Fun staff. Then we'll coordinate with NAN to get you out to your various areas. We know you need to get out there. We know you need to do what you need to do. We don't want to keep you from doing that, but we've thrown that date out there to begin with as just kind of a benchmark, and we're obviously going to do better than that. So we understand you need to get out there. There's a lot of work you have to do, and we're obviously very accommodating. We'll make sure that happens. Also on the bottom, you can see their badges are not required on the air side Friday, March 28th through April 7th. So that's pretty standard operating procedures the last several years. And then runway 523, we would look to close 523 on the 21st. There was some discussion to do it earlier, but I think we will probably be okay with the 21st, especially with the amount of operations activity that we have occurring right now. Also, just a point to note something else, on March 11th through the 16th, Fifi will be here over at the terminal on the north side, I believe with their B-24, C-47, P-51, and a whole contingent of airplanes making the tour around Florida. So they will be here. So if you have an opportunity, come on over, have lunch. You can sit in Earhart's, look at them on the ramp, and enjoy a nice lunch and look at a B-29, which is pretty rare opportunity. So if you can do that, please come over and join us. And I think that is it.
Just saying. Okay, first of all, that's okay, I'm good. I want to say thank you to all the volunteers. The place is looking beautiful. And the lovely ladies who do the lunches, I mean, if you have not had their brownies, you have not tasted love. And I have missed them when I've been in Orlando more recently. So I want to thank them and the people in the sign shop, the maintenance people, the lovely Laura, who takes care of all our chairmen no matter what. And, you know, the Raiders and everybody, all the people behind the scenes here really help us in this building, not just the whole thing. They help everyone, and I just want to say thank you. Doug Murphy really wanted to be here. He was on his way here. It's hard to find a better supporter than Doug Murphy, who's our regional administrator of this event, this facility, and this mission. And he's works very closely with Lights and with Gene Conrad. And he just had an emergency and he couldn't make it. But he will be here for the whole Sun and Fun, as well a lot of other people. We do have the administrator coming. We do have the deputy administrator coming. I believe we have the director, John Duncan, who will also be here. So we have a lot of very prominent FAA people that have been absent in the past. Good news, bad news. So they'll be here on Friday, meet the FAA Day. Friday's a very big day for us. We have that event, and we have the Master Pilot Charles Taylor ceremonies that we will be hosting, and we're giving the award again to Randy Babbitt, former FAA administrator, some WASPs, some Tuskegee, and it turns out the Legends Dinner, Buzz Aldrin and a number of those people, Mr. Rattan, have not received that award also. So we're working with Sun and Fun to make that happen and you know, give a real nod to the people we all look up to and are inspired by. So some bad news, those little informational booklets with the NOTAMs, we won't be able to have those this year. Just weren't able to pull it off, so people are going to have to download the NOTAM. I know those are a very big deal, and they're great to have. And we'll look to getting them next year. Just couldn't pull it off this year. This forums that are going to go on in here, we have some real amazing people coming. So I expect these to be pretty full, and we will put everything that we stream will be on our YouTube channel. And we'll go through Google to YouTube and get that up for everyone. And the amazing thing about that is our hits just keep going. All the stuff that happened last year, the hits every month go up and up on that. So that's fantastic. We will be utilizing the children, some of the students over at the school. And I don't know that Mr. Smith's here or not, but he gave my boss, Diana Fromm, a tour of the school, and two of the most impressive students I have ever seen. And Diana was bragging on those students in that tour, and it looks like the deputy administrator wants to see the school, and he's here too. So that's fantastic. We will be using those students. The students this year will be a little bit different. A couple of them are going to be able to be on the flight line with Larry and see how they monitor the air show operations and how the FAASTeam actually works here. So we're pretty excited about that, and of course they'll be working with the control room and all that stuff. So super excited. ATC, Miguel says they're good to go. He's sitting there on his phone. He's got all kinds of little runway apps, so they're good to go. Just a side note, the 15th of this month we're hosting a very big renewal seminar, an IA seminar here. It's a Saturday. It'll be all day. There'll be about 150 people, and we are bringing in 4 food trucks. So the food trucks are available to everybody that's working out here. So we'll coordinate with Sun and Fun as to where we're going to put those food trucks. But just so you know, if you're working out here on Saturday, you're most welcome to them. Okay, I'm done with my part. We know that this event is about safety, and as my boss is very famous for saying, aviation has one perfect record. We've never left one up there. So, Diana Fromm and Larry. And just for the record, Lights did mention it, but Diana Fromm is fighting tooth and nail to keep this facility and expand the use of it. And we do have a lot of support from Sun and Fun and from Jean at the airport on that. So fantastic.
Yeah. Thank you. Good morning, everybody. Well, I'll tell you what, I got good news to report, and so far in the last month, since our last meeting, our funding is still solid. So we're going to be here full force this year. I'm really happy about that. Like Karen said, we want to expand our use of the students over at CFAA, and I want to hook them up and let them see what some of the safety inspectors really get to do. I know they look really cute flying around on their little golf carts and stuff like that with their shades. Kind of reminds me of a CHP guy. No. Where's Mr. Moore? He always has his shades on. Anyway. But, you know, we want them to see kind of what the FAA does, because we also will need, as aviation is going to need the next generation to come up, you know, the FAA needs those people too. And we want them to know what we do, and I hope they can even participate in some of the activities. So our goal this year is to have a non-event event. Okay, that's our new theme. We want a non-event event. You know, we want this to be a great time. I'm very excited that I'm going to have a full staff here. We're going to be, I think, helping a lot of people. We do about 100 plus, depending on how many people that come into the FAASTeam and have a problem, either with their certificate, with an aircraft, with paperwork, and that's what I bring inspectors out here for. You know, we have to take every advantage in general aviation to be able to right anything that might be wrong so that those people are safe when they're flying around, whether it's at air shows, over your houses. Personally, I have OIA stuff over my house. I don't know how that ever happened, but I do. And I do worry about that sometimes. But our partnership with Sun and Fun is vastly important, especially at an event like this. And I want to take this opportunity to say thank you to everybody that comes out here and makes this event so great. You know, I've been to Oshkosh. It was okay, but I kind of have fun here, you know. Okay, I'm kind of kibitzing a little bit, aren't I? But it's good, it's good. You know, but everybody has to take a piece of that responsibility for safety. You know, as Light said earlier today, if you see something, you all are the eyes and ears. You know, the FAA can't be everywhere. I tell everybody in GA, the FAA can't be everywhere. We can't see everything. If you see something, you need to tell somebody. Make sure that we have that safe non-event event. That's what we're going for. And I think, Larry, you want to talk about the evolving waivers?
Sure.
Okay, Larry.
Thank you, Diana, and good morning, everyone. It's great to be back again. We're really, really, really looking forward. I'll speak a little louder. How's that? Thank you very much.
That's the captain voice.
Yes. Okay. In all seriousness, we are really, really excited about this year's Sun and Fun because in the past several years, there have been a number of funding issues and other issues that really prevented us from providing an entire team here. This year, with significant effort on the part of Diana and Karen and our regional administrator, Douglas Murphy, we're going to be here in full staff, and it's just terrific because we can provide the service that y'all deserve. Remember that we will now be in the front of the building here in our old standard location that we were in for many, many years prior to the last several years. And available for full service for all people who have questions, need issues or problems with certificates or aircraft or whatever. We're there to really help out. And that's not a joke, that's the truth. I like Diana's adage of a non-event event. That's terrific. That's the first time I've heard that. Well, that's good. You're really good on the cuff. That's our entire goal. That's why we're here. And all we need, along with all the folks that are here and all the volunteers, all we need is some good weather. That's always the challenge we have with Sun and Fun, is when we have significant issues with weather, the accident or incidents do occur. So we're all going to keep our fingers crossed for good weather, and we're really, really looking forward to being here in full force this year. Thanks a lot.
Okay, and I believe I'm introducing Mr. Brett Fay from the airport.
Hey! I am not Brett. I am Tracy. Okay, I have some good news and some bad news. The good news is the flying is only a month away. The bad news is the fly-in is only a month away. It's all how you spin it. All right. You got it? Because I don't see the internet. Okay. Last time I showed you kind of where our revenues come from. Keep in mind, 87% of our revenue comes from this fundraiser. So it's very important for us. For all of us who are salaried, it's a very important event for all of us. So, next. This is just a breakdown of where the different revenues come from. You can see that 32% of all of our fly-in revenue comes from admissions, so we certainly hope to boost that. The Blue Angels and all these performers, all that you do helps to boost that up. Invite your friends, get them in here. Let's go to the next one. Okay, so how are we doing this year? That's what we all want to know. Well, if you look at the first tall columns there, that's kind of where we are this year with our sale of tickets versus where we were last year, a month away from the fly-in. We're dollar-wise, as far as ticket sales, we're about the same, but we've been running some specials, so number of tickets is actually up. The second little set of columns there, where are all my camping volunteers? Would you stand up, please? If you work camping registration, okay. I have a special gift for all of you. If you look at this, last year, at 1 month before the fly-in, we had sold 18 camping packages a month ahead. We have now sold 90 camping packages. So for all of you standing, I have some turbo gummies for you in the back. Pick them up from Jane at the end of the show, okay? All right, what else? We got preferred seating. we raised the price, and so 3 times as many people have purchased. Go figure. I don't know. 927 is our VIP club. That is also up this year. It's become a very popular area for our VIPs. All right. That's all the slides I have, but I have a couple of quick announcements. Once again, just a reminder, be sure to get a PO if you need to purchase something. Registration training. Once again, last time I told you we have bought new software, so it's going to be a little bit of a challenge this year for all of our registration people. We do have training available if you would like to come and see the software and try it. We will be at main registration today after this meeting. After we eat, come on over and try it out. Keep in mind, there's no roping off of camping spaces unless you have a camper pass. Lindbergh lot trailer. We have been putting a Lindbergh lot registration trailer out there for several years now. If you need to get a pass to someone on your volunteer team without them coming on site, let's say they're not going to be here till Thursday and you're not going to be able to see them ahead of time, we have a will call window out there at Lindbergh lot. You can leave their yellow pass, their wristband out there at will call, and that way they don't have to come on site before they get their items. So if you need a will call window for someone, leave it out there at the Lindbergh lot, okay? Last but not least, please lock your car when you're here on site. They're saying they can't hear me. Please lock your car when you're on site, okay? All right, that's it for me. Next is Greg Gibson. Thank you.
Morning, everybody. That was so much better than last time. I started to bring my chicken dance music up here for you guys for that 7th inning thing, but you know, is that better? All right. You know, my kids, my wife says I don't need a microphone. I think with a 727, they might argue with me here. So, all right, I'm gonna just a few things for you real quick. Sponsorship is kind of an interesting. It's always been sort of an interesting legacy here at Sun and Fun, and I'm learning more about that as I go. Sometimes I'm trying to figure out whether there was ever a frying pan to be in before I got thrown into the fire. I'm pretty sure that's not the case. I want to point out something that we've done here that's a little bit different this year, and that's by really, creating a couple of programs that focus on the educational side of Sun and Fun that has had an evolution that I'm not sure has really been well pointed out. Over the years, 40 years it's taken to create the pageantry, the notoriety, and the festival that is Sun and Fun, and that is thanks to every one of you in this room. Everybody here has had a part in creating what we are now able to do in the 21st century with bringing the next generation of pilots into the fold. And having that opportunity comes with some responsibility, but I think it's important, especially when we start talking about how we're addressing this to our sponsors, that you know that the way we're doing that is that we could have never done it without you, the volunteers. This volunteer-driven organization has created this opportunity. Not through any other way would we have the availability on this campus for it to attract such a program. So I'd like to thank you for that. It has given us a tremendous platform to be able to work from in order to take ourselves into the next level. One of the things we're doing this year, I mentioned it last time, is called Project Stratos. And essentially what you create something that people can identify with. You put a face on something, and that way you can start to generate some interest. Well, the Aerospace Center for Excellence, as it's now become branded, has an ambassador team, and we created Project Stratus to develop that team, and this year 10 students from the CFAA have participated, actually out of 70, have participated in an essay contest, and we have those 10 winners now. And let me tell you, your legacy and the things that you've created here have produced some very intelligent children. These kids put together some essays, and like I haven't had a chance to share them with you yet, but I'll tell you, what came out of this, I put them into a position to report on things that weren't quite so well known. I eliminated Neil Armstrong. You can't talk about him for an essay. I don't want you talking about just the space shuttle. Don't talk about NASA. Let's hear about some of the things that aviation came from. Where did we get our start? Let's hear about an ornithopter. Let's talk about a few things in our past, and maybe some of the newer things that aren't so well known. The ion drive, I saw a couple of reports on that. So what these kids went back and did, and some of the things they unearthed, and a new era of interest for each of them really became apparent in the way that went. So they're going to represent that school well. And the Stratus project has developed. It was a brand new thing. It was something that we rolled out to the, primarily to the exhibitors and existing sponsors to begin with. And I'm very happy to say at this point I had 10 essay winners that I wanted to get sponsored, and I have all 10 of those essay winners sponsored. We sold every single one of them. So that was a big hallmark that we reached just yesterday, in fact. And tying into that, we've also tied another event, our Dinner with Legends, which you've heard some about. And both of these things, again, they were designed to create another layer of interest for our own people here, our sponsors, our exhibitors, people that are interested in aviation as a whole, and those that also have an interest in supporting, again, the next generation of who we need to replace us as we all continue to get on through our lives. The dinner has attracted a couple of layers, just like what we had hoped for. Breitling, for example, has sponsored a table. They're also donating a watch for the silent auction. Breitling has not participated at that level before. So we're drawing a few things out of the woodwork. We do have some extremely notable people there. Bud Anderson will be in attendance. We have Colonel Charlie McGee of the Tuskegee Airmen will be there. Dick Cole of the Doolittle Raiders, 99 years old this year, folks. He will be in attendance with that. And is very excited about selling some prints the following day. So if you happen to be around, it'd be a good chance to maybe meet him and get another one of those prints. It's a really neat deal. Buzz Aldrin, second man on the moon. We're very pleased to have him here through the efforts of Captain Judy Rice, who will be doing an around the world trip. So we're very honored to have him here. Dick Rutan is also scheduled to be here. And famous designer, great interaction for the kids. There's another layer of aviation that they can aspire to. He's a tremendous fella. And as we mentioned earlier, we are having some of the FAA's Master Pilot Awards be presented that evening to some of these folks who have never. Bud Anderson's one of them. Dick Rutan is another. We're working on Charlie McGee and Buzz and a couple of other ones. So members of the WASP are also going to be there, and that is such an exciting thing. These ladies are just such dear, wonderful people. And having them there to be appreciated is another thing. So as you're going around, this is it is a top ticket type of event. It's not designed to be anything other than a tremendous fundraiser, something that Sun and Fun can have here on the grounds that we can own, that can be of the level of the things that you know about out there in the rest of the aviation world. We have something now that we can call our own that really has some very serious validity to it. Great concept. Absolutely a great goal with the support of education and also, in honoring some of aviation's finest. So definitely keep that in mind as you're going around and talking to people that might like to attend. Some more firsts here. Tampa International, Lights mentioned a minute ago as well. We have their kiosks are going to be exhibiting all of our signage, some clips, 10-second clips. We have some, video capability on the baggage carousels, electronic stations all over the airport. That also includes the Hillsborough County General Aviation airports as well. So all of the FBOs around the area will also have that going on in addition, and that will continue. We have a relationship going now that we'll be able to promote that not only at the airport but at the GA airports as well. So that's another partnership that's going quite well. I still need to hold this thing. I guess so. That reminds me of another problem. Never mind. Anyway, all right. We've got another interesting thing that we're developing. Again, just a layering on opportunities for Sun and Fun. Tracy mentioned preferred seating a minute ago. We have extended preferred seating into a special opportunity for amateur photographers. If you're an amateur photographer and you'd like to have an unobstructed view of the ramp, we're selling a special preferred seating area in the bleachers. It'll be just off the edge of Foxtrot, outside the fence, but outside the hot area as well. But it's a chance for those people to be able to come in and do what they love. You got a lot of people bring in thousands of dollars of equipment, hoping that they can find a gap in the fence and take a picture of an airplane. This is it's a very niche scenario, but there are lots and lots of people I've observed around the country just packing those bleachers with that sort of thing. So there's another idea that we floated to Nikon, who are sponsoring the bleachers themselves, and we're able to retain the revenue from people that populate those stands. So it's a 100% fundraiser for us with virtually, since the bleachers are sponsored, zero cost. So having that available has been an interesting exercise, and we'll see how it goes. Last thing I want to talk to you about, well, two extra things actually. There's two things. The flying itself and the population. I don't know how many of you follow air show statistics and what brings a crowd, but there are three things that are listed as statistically the top things that bring a crowd to an air show. The number one thing is the United States military jet teams. Having that's a sure draw. They're going to bring them in every time. Second thing, United States military current single ship military demos. That's the second thing that brings a crowd. Third thing, warbirds. Vintage classic fighters and bombers on display and in the air. Those are the three things, and not to demean or in any way impugn the value of the flip-flops and people that are below. How you doing? Okay. I hope. Can you hear me now? Okay. Somebody get a picture of this. At any rate, having that trifecta here, essentially, again, the air show performers that do all the civilian performers are absolutely fantastic, and we could not do the show without them. But the main draw, statistically, we've got all three. We've got the Blue Angels, we've got the Raptor, and of course this great contingent of Warbird that Lights and Bob have gone out and made apparent to happen. Ladies and gentlemen, get ready for a barn burner. They're coming. It's going to be a big show. So make sure that everybody's got your thank you hats on and your P's and K's, I think. Where's Robin? Yeah, we got to make sure we got that going on. There's going to be a lot of people here. To the education side of things, one more time, we have not had access historically to a lot of the dollars that are out there that, well, just a lot of dollars that are out there. Pratt & Whitney, Lockheed Martin, Honeywell, a lot of these tremendous, huge aviation agencies and OEMs that really a fly-in doesn't spin their wheels too much, or their turbines in their case. Now that we have the Aerospace Center for Excellence and we're recreating the museum into the hands-on learning center and facility that's becoming, Rob's doing a fantastic job on that. We now have access to funding that we didn't have access to before. There are literally millions of dollars worth of grants, endowments, and various things that all these companies have set aside exactly for STEM-based education programs. And again, you, the volunteers, for the last 40 years have helped create the basis that has sprung from. And you are to be congratulated for that, because we're about to hit it out of the park. So thank you very much for your time, and I'll introduce Ms. Sandy Bridges.
Thank you for the ramp. Whoever put the ramp up, thank you very much. I was listening very carefully, Greg, but I didn't hear you say that one of the WASPs is still an air show performer, right? Yeah. So everybody watch for that. I'm just going to mention briefly that in the Media Center, if you watch what's going on, we're proposing, and we've scheduled a lot of press conferences at the exhibits because of the air show schedule. We want to make sure that everybody's out and knows what's going on. Obi Young is going to be doing man-on-the-street interviews. We've got some exciting things going on with the Pioneers. We're going to have lots of old pictures up, and there's going to be a Jumbotron on the front of the building. So there are new things. One of the things that in the frame of public relations and keeping everybody happy is that we have in the Visit Central Florida building, that big yellow and blue building over here, they're going to have discount tickets to theme parks. So if you want to send people over there to get those discount tickets, make sure that you're taking advantage of it, and everybody while they're here, they've got discount tickets to Legoland and all the stuff in Orlando and in Tampa. The International Visitors is a little bit different this year. We're trying to host all of the teenagers that are going to be our future aviators. So we've planned a dance around the world party on Thursday night for the 13 to 18-year-olds, and I've got 2 interns that have gone out and just contacted all kinds of food vendors for those kids. So if you've got some kids working in your area, like the UK cadets or anything, send them over. Thursday, on Volunteer Day, Dave Schaubetter is actually hosting Sun and Fun Radio's 20th birthday, and you're all invited to that party on the new radio deck. And kind of watch all of the Facebook and the web pages, because they're looking for some more funding for any of the activities that are going on over there. But also, he's giving away birthday gifts to everybody for his 20th birthday, he's collected all kinds of things that are going to be exciting to you. So watch for those birthday gifts to come out. As far as just in general, anybody with customer service, any kind of an issue, just let us know. We're all here to handle it. We want to make sure everybody's happy. Don't let anybody walk away with an attitude. Thanks.
Good morning, everyone. Hi. All right, so I'm here to talk about Build a Brighter Future Day, which happens on April 2nd. That's a Wednesday. If you give me the first slide up there, please. All right, so these are the people who are going to be participating in Education Day as of yesterday. That's happening in the pavilion. So I have Admiral Farragut, a lot of high schools, Baptist College of Florida, Bach Academy, Broward College, Central Florida Aerospace Academy, Clearwater High School, Eagle's Nest Projects, which we'll talk about in a second. What they do is they take an aircraft, an RV-12, and they build it from start to finish, go out and fly it. And they're planning on trying to fly in to the fly-in this time. It all depends on weather and whether or not they get their projects completed. Eagle's Nest 1 was the original one that started in Indianapolis. Eagle's Nest 3 is in Texas, and Eagle's Nest 6 is our partner here in Orlando. Lakeland Highlands Middle School and Sleepy Hill Middle School down there are two feeder schools into CFAA. Robinson High School, Polk State, of course, Osceola High School in Kissimmee, and Miramar High School all the way down south. So they'll all be here in the pavilion. And during that time, go ahead and hit me on the next slide for me, please. We're going to have presentations here. So the Museum of Science and Industry will be here, the National Air and Space Museum of Smithsonian, Judy Rice, and the Think Global Flight and Zero G will all be doing presentations for STEM-based activities that these teachers can bring back to their classrooms, as well as it's a big time for them to be able to network with each other. I know a lot of these people are just thrown into an aerospace program. They're saying, hey, we need help. We don't know where to come to. So this is a really good chance for them to network with each other and find out what they're doing and how they can bring what a classroom, say, up in the northern part of Florida is doing in the southern part of Florida and expand education. I'm just really excited that we're the focal point of all that right here for that to happen. And we're trying to get a lot of those schools out there on Florida Aviation Network with OBI so they can get some notoriety for their programs. I know one of them is building drones. It's just amazing to see what they're doing right now for that. So if you hit the next slide for me, please. In addition to that, we're going to have, this is our Sun and Fun Ambassador, Ravi. He's going out to all the local schools around here while he's here. So he's out there bringing the message of Build a Brighter Future through aerospace education as well as his You Can Do It tour. He's going out to McKeel, Ridge Community High School. He's also going to be on Sun and Fun Radio, then going to Bach Academy and Lakeland Highland Middle School and Victory Christian Academy. So not only the people that are coming here to Sun and Fun, we're actually getting out in the community also and bringing the message that this is the place to come to for educational purposes. And hit the next slide for me. And what I'm really proud of, I've had a heck of a lot of help getting this going on, is our first ever job fair going on in the museum on April 2nd. So in the pavilion you have Education Day, and then you have the job fair. We've got Airworthy Aerospace coming, American Eagle, Epic Aircraft, Florida Modification Specialists, Garmin, Great Lakes, Jeppesen, Kennedy Space Center, Piper, Mesa, and Silver. So not only are we targeting the pilot community here, we're also targeting the engineers, the mechanics, and flight operations professionals. Right now I'm pretty much closed with the job fair. We have 2 or 3 more we're trying to secure. Registration is pre-registration with designated times on the internet. So you can come in between 9 and 10, 10 to 11, 11 to 12, 1 to 2, and then after that you can feel free to go on out to the air show. So my goal here is, I've been to job fairs before where people have paid hundreds of dollars to get in with little success. What I'm saying is, not only do you guys want to come for an air show, you can maybe even leave with a job. So that's something, and it's under $40 in and out. So it's a great time, great experience, great time for us. All right, if you can hit the final slide for me there, please. All right, so what's happening over at the museum right now? I've had a heck of a lot of help getting this up and running into Aerospace Discovery Center. You can see in the top left there we have a beacon that was stationed at Fort Lauderdale Hollywood Airport for 30 years. That's up and running in the museum right now. Had some volunteer help get that up there, so that's really neat. We turned that on there. In the middle there you've got Sue and her team. They designed the world. I bought a wall decal and put it on the wall there, and Lights came up to me and he says, you know, I'd like it bigger. I was like, all right, see if you can go to Sue and do what you can do with Sue. So I went there and I told Sue what we were looking to do, and her team just made the impossible happen. So that's the world they created right there, all out of vinyl on the wall there. That's just amazing. Had the guys yesterday move the Spruce Goose into place in the new Howard Hughes exhibit. That's in the top right corner there. and then there's a wing that they put over the entrance to the museum. So it's really starting to come to shape there. It's taking form, and just so happy with all the volunteer help that's going on there. The library has been about 95% moved into the upper stairs over there. I know Jack and his wife work 5 days a week over there in the library trying to catalog and organize everything that's happening over there. Frank Klatt and Al have been working tirelessly on a new propulsion exhibit. That's a good example of volunteer coordination. They're talking to Oshkosh right now about trying to get the Whittle engine down here for our propulsion exhibit. And also Tom, this morning, I got an email from Tom Roman. He's out there knocking on doors, getting cutaway flight instruments for us so we can use those as interactive exhibits for kids. It's just a great experience to be able to take a kid an attitude indicator and show it cut away so they can actually see the internal workings of it and how it works. And all the other volunteers who tirelessly helped me out. I've been here about 3 months now, and I really see what happens here with how the volunteers really run this organization and help us to make it what it is. And gosh, I couldn't do anything without you guys. So I just want to say thank you so much for everything you do. And I'm just looking forward to how this air show is going to happen, and it's just going to be a great one. So thank you. Also, one other thing I didn't want to neglect to mention, John Iskra has been working with the student tours over there. And he's just getting phone ringing off the hook for the student tours that are happening over there. So thanks to him and his team for that happening, as well as the aerospace educators workshop on Saturday. So that's happening also. So I just want to say thanks to John and his team for also making that happen there, guys. Thank you very much. Bye bye. And next, the wonderful and talented Bonnie Perkins.
Well, happy 40th birthday, and see, it got quiet for me. Can y'all hear me in the back? Oh gosh, thank you. All right, well, I'll make this short and sweet. This year I will be on staff 29 years, and I got exhibitors, had no idea that would be my job, but about that time it started, we had a little over 200 exhibitors. Today we have 458 and counting. So that's today. It's great. Last year this time we had about the same amount. That's my heart beating. Yep. Last year we had about the same amount, but we've actually sold 10 more spaces than we did last year. Last year Paradise City was just awesome. People were thrilled with it. This year we had that same excitement. If you're looking for AOPA this year, you will find them in a different location. They are going to be just behind this building and over to the west. So where they were last year, we're not sure what's going to go there, but we're working on that. So if y'all know of anyone that might like to exhibit, or if there's somebody you want me to research or go look for them, please let me know. We're happy to follow all the leads. We always try to keep our aviation 85% and any non-aviation 15%. We think that's very important to keep Sun and Fun all aviation. So I think the next person is Dave Fuller. And I didn't need these 40 years ago.
How you all doing today? Talked about this last month with a new Wi-Fi. We replaced Bright House for their own service. We're no longer using Bright House as a provider. We've expanded our coverage, the Wi-Fi coverage, to Paradise City to the east and to Miss Betty's Campground to the west. We're using 2 sources of internet, so if one goes down, we'll still have a backup. We've redesigned our entire internal network to increase the speed to gigabit speed. The new system will be easier to use and a lot more dependable. Chairmen still need to go online to the website and fill out a form to request credentials so they can access the internet at their locations during the air show. We're also still using the text messaging system for emergency alerts and any updates we might have to what's going on the grounds. You can get those alerts by texting on your phone SNF alert to 69050. That will put you on the list, and you'll get any messages that come through for alerts. So it might be a emergency weather problem or anything else. Also, if you text SNF update to 69050, you'll get the update information. And we'd like to see people, the more people we have on the alert system, then and you get the messages, you can disseminate information out to the other people. That's all I have. Does anybody have any questions about the Wi-Fi or internet access? Yes, sir. Yeah, there is. That link is still there. For the chairman to sign up for. On the chairman section on the website. Okay. Anybody else have a question? Where you go to find the form to sign up for Wi-Fi? Okay, that's all I have. Who's next?
There's a form on the main Sun and Fun website under Chairman Info. Chairman has to download it. They have the code to get on that page. And then you make your request with that form, and it'll eventually make its way to Dave, and he'll assign you a code. Don Huey?
Good morning. All right, now I know you can hear me, right? Man, you both. Okay, next time what you're going to do is you're going to, in the back, you're going to play like Baptist and move to the front. You had your hand up. You must be Baptist. Okay, okay. Okay, some of the things that Lights mentioned this morning, he was stealing my thunder, you know, but we'll let him go with it, you know, just because he signs a check, whatever. Shower House C has a new roof on it, so now when you go in there on rainy days, your shower will now come out of the pipe instead of out of the ceiling. Something we're trying new, different. Trimming trees, man, they have cut more trees than I will admit, because I know what will happen downtown if they find out about all our trees. The flowers, the plants and everything, thanks to Lowe's, they brought out a huge truck, I mean a semi of plants, and these were all free. That's part of our relationship with Lowe's. So yeah, big thank you. So when you get a chance or need something, spend your money with Lowe's. Also along that with the plants, if you need plants for your area, this is not self-service down there where the plants are hiding right now. We've had a couple of people that have backed their vehicles up and were wanting some of the plants. Nah, please see one of the flower babes or myself, and we will listen to your request. The Education Row, as we now called Doolittle, man, it looks different. It's red, white, and blue, so when you drive through there, you don't know which building to salute, but it looks great. The judges stand, the seabirds, vendor check-in, exhibitor oasis, all have been painted. Eugene and his team of about one have been really, really busy. So if you want something painted, you need to do like Bill McKee is going to do today with his team and go out and paint. So that's good. The Nature Bridge, all of you, please this year, take a journey over the Nature Bridge, because they've been real busy pressure washing it, replacing a lot of boards, and I mean, it looks sharp out there. We now have gators out there, so you go and pet one of them. So over at the radio station, Dave Shalbetter has been real busy getting the money. We had a few potholes that we had to go through to get to that point, but it is now crews over there today. In fact, Dave's not here today. Ralph Thomas is leading the group today. So if any of you want something to do after this meeting, head on over. They'll be glad to put you to work. The Compass Row starting tomorrow, and this is for staff as well as anybody that's on site. You will not be able to drive over the Compass Row in front of admin building. Won't be able to go in the front door for a few days because Compass Row is being, Greg went out with Bose. They will be replacing all that Compass Row. It's now going to be black and white with their logo in it, plus with a welcome to Sun and Fun sign in the concrete at the door. It's going to look really sharp, but we got to stay off of it for a few days. 727, the steps are being made for it even as we speak. The electrical bid was released yesterday to do the electrical up to the airplane. Now we're not doing inside it except some temporary lighting for the show afterwards. Then we will redo all that. That pretty well covers it. Anybody have anything for me? Any questions? Murray will be down at the shop after this meeting. If any of you need keys. Now, it's my pleasure to introduce our lady of the evening. Oh, excuse me. No, evening activities. Christine Stevens.
I'm excited to announce our evening entertainment series. Sorry, I'm following Don and Greg up here on this, and I kind of probably need a step stool. I'm excited to announce our evening entertainment series, and I hope you'll be just as pleased as we are. Lights mentioned earlier that we do have EAA Jack Pelton, AOPA's Mark Baker, NBAA's Ed Bolin, and HAI's Matt Zuccarlo on Tuesday night. That is a speaking series that you won't want to miss, and we do have a question and answer series time after that. Wednesday, we have pilot Blair Bozick, who will present us with ejection over the South Pacific and be telling his story of his SR-71, and that's another story that you won't want to miss. Thursday evening, we have the Wilder Road Boys Classic Country Band, and they're going to take the stage with sounds of Alan Jackson, George Strait, Hank Williams Jr., all of your favorite country artists. They do those very well. We think you'll be very pleased with those. On Friday night, we have Southern Rock's Finest, which is a group of guys that used to be, each of them came from bands back in the day, such as Allman Brothers, Pure Prairie League, Blackfoot. They've come together and formed this band called Southern Rock's Finest, so we hope you'll join us for that. And they'll also be entertaining the International Visitors Party. Saturday night, of course, is the night air show with fireworks for our 40th birthday. And Sunday is our traditional Tail Draggers party, and we hope that everyone will come to that. Movies will once again be shown in the CFAA. This year we have Disney's Planes, Gravity, Top Gun, and my personal favorite, Red Tails. And then for our 927 Club celebrities this year, we have the Aeroshell team, Bud Anderson, Tuskegee Airman Charlie McGee, Michael Gullion, and then we've had a little bit of a schedule change. Eugene Knock, who is the owner of the original Bat Car and Batcopter, will be in the 927, and following him will be Raptor pilot Captain John Cummings. All entertainment, as usual, will be listed in the info guide, so please encourage everybody to come to our evening programs. We want them to be successful, we want them to be enjoyed, and we want our guests to feel very welcomed. That's all I have for you guys, and next up is Robin McFarland.
Good morning. How are y'all? You ready? All right. Me too. This year we're going to be celebrating you, which is a very exciting thing for me. because you're all about what I do. So Thursday is going to be a big day. We're going to start it off with the Pioneer Luncheon, which I always love because I get to see some of those people that had a dream and they put it they put their energies into it, and look what happened. You all showed up. So that's a really neat thing, and we celebrate them every year with a luncheon. And in addition to that, this year, we're going to have incorporated the Wild Flag Way Road, which will be dedicated, and Roscoe Morton announcer stand. So the Pioneers will be part of that. They will come for their luncheon, and then afterwards they will have the dedications, and we'll move them up to the flight line where they'll enjoy the show. And we do that every year with them, but this year we'll just have those 2 extra things that will make it extra special. Dave Shellbetter, my buddy at the radio station, is working really diligent with me to interview you. So we're going to be asking some of you to tell your story. We want to hear about what happened when the days started of Sun and Fun, and then we want to bring it to the present. So be thinking about things like that in case you get tapped on the shoulder and asked to talk. I have been asked to talk about what I do, so that'll be a fun moment for me. So, and Ben Sclair of the Sun and Fun Today will also be featuring articles through the week about volunteer stories and features and pioneers and yearly birds and early birds and flying birds. So we really want to celebrate you. This is our year to celebrate 40 years. Can you believe it? Gosh, that's a long time. So let's get excited about it and talk about our stories and share what we did all those years. Service pins. Last time I was up here, I talked a little bit about Thursday night in the evening programs right before they start. We're going to do the presentation celebration of all the pins. We're talking about 5 to 40 years. So we know some of you want to give out your pins. That's wonderful. You'll still get that chance to do that in your group. But on Thursday night, we want you to come to the pavilion with your people, and I'm going to be sending out a list of all your recipients that are getting pins. So I want you to review them. I want you to get back with me because we do not want to leave out any recipient that's getting a pin 5 years to 40. Okay? So please, when you get that email from me, you look it over, look at your rosters, compare them, make sure that they match so that we can honor all the people that need to be honored. And that's 5 to 40. So we'll bring them all up on stage. We'll honor them, read their names, celebrate them, and then if you want to give the pin, you'll give the pin in your little parties. Because I know you have dinners and celebrations, so don't worry. I'm not going to give your pins out if you don't want me to. So that's happening on Thursday night. Let's see. They all talked about what I am celebrating, so I don't want to rehash some of those things. Recruitment. Post your needs on the website. It's not hard. If I can do it, anybody in this room can do that. Go on the website because I'll tell you, people are looking at that website and they're looking at the needs. And the closer we get, the more intense your need is. So if you have people that you need to fill openings in your areas, please use the tools that we give you. They're there for you. Recruit, recruit, recruit. Let's see. Okay. I do want to say that this year will be the first time we've ever had a 40-year pin, and Melissa Goodson designed it. It's beautiful. I can't wait to give it out. When I pulled the report for all the pins, there were 24 recipients. 24. And I am so proud and so excited to give those pins out this year. In fact, it kind of overwhelmed me. You know how I get so emotional all the time. But I just, you know, I thought about that. Those are people that thought, let's have a fly-in. And they just gathered. And the more they gathered, the more other people gathered. And they said, let's build this and let's build that. And they sweat and they cried and they hurt because of their muscles. And I've heard so many stories from Pat Quinn and the Eichhoffs about things that they buried in the ground here, which is very scary. So don't dig too deep. But anyway, they just did some really remarkable things. And you know what? Because they did it, I got to come to work here. And that's what gets me up every day, is all of you. I want you to know that, because you make the excitement happen around here. And I don't want you to ever think that we don't appreciate you, because we do. We look forward to you. We have a very small staff. I think there's 16. Is that right? And we work very hard so that we can welcome you when you come. So, and we're thinking about you all year. That's what we're here for, is all of you. It's not just 16 we're thinking about, it's all of you. You make this thing happen. And we are proud to stand beside you. And I never want that to ever get missed when we stand up here and talk to you. I know we give you so much information. You leave here on overload. But I want you to remember that this is fun. We do this for fun. We do this to talk about aviation. We do this to promote our youth. And let me tell you something. Those kids and that academy and the schools surrounding here and the kids that come, they are excited and they are very, very willing to learn. So when they come to your area, I know sometimes they can just be kids. But that's about growing up. You were a kid once. You remember how it is. Respect them, bring them in, tell them about your story. Frank Klatt here, my goodness, you're a wealth of information. And you know what? Kids want to know what's in that head of yours. And I know that's scary. That's scary business right there. But they want to know what your story is, so don't be afraid to tell them. Tell them what you know. Share what you know. Give them something to go home and tell their parents about. But that's why we're here. Be careful. I hear you. Leighton, I tell you, Leighton, that man, I'm going to have to speak to you after this meeting. But anyway, Leighton, you're all right in my book. But I always get the privilege of going before Laura Vaughn. So I'm here to bring up the goddess of logistics. She knows everything about this place. So here she comes.
Good morning. Can you hear me in the back? Okay. Barely. Talk really loud. Before I get into business, I just want to say a couple of things. Thank you. This last month has been very, very difficult. And if it had not been for each and every one of you guys showing your support to me, I don't know what I would have done. I am very privileged to be a part of this Sun and Fun family. Thank you very, very much. Okay, down to business. The credential office, Libby Morgan, Gail Taylor, and a lot of hold it up. Okay. Just one more thing I'm going to have to do here. Let me get my hand off of that. Okay. The credential office actually opened for business yesterday, thanks to Dave Fuller and his diligent work getting our credential program process tweaked a little bit, because we changed some things this year. We got underway, and I will tell you, Libby Morgan and Gail and her team worked yesterday and got us caught up. There are a few credential requests that have been sent to me that I have not approved because I have some questions. So if you go down to the credential office today and expect to have your package there and it's not there, come and see me, because I do have a couple of packages or some questions about those. And I just need to pull it up and talk with you about it. So, and I haven't had an opportunity to send an email out to each of you. So if you don't have your package, once we get those questions answered, we can get it filled pretty quickly. So I'm surprised at the speed that they filled all of them yesterday. It was quite amazing. Okay, I feel like I'm talking really loud here, so hopefully I'm not killing y'all. The equipment request deadline is passed, and I know with everything that's been going on this last month, y'all have really worked well in getting what you need, but I still have some areas that have not submitted to me their equipment list by going into the event checklist. I really need you guys to do that. I can't go in and approve your equipment until you do this. So if you have your equipment ready, please go to the event checklist and click that you're submitting it for me to review. Okay. The credentials, the same thing. The credentials we can pretty much fill as you go along, but if you have a list that you want to go ahead and start getting some of your credentials to your volunteers, hit your event check, go to the event checklist, hit that you're submitting your credentials, and we can start filling those packages. If you have additional credentials later, we can add to your request. So don't hold up if you have a need to get some of your credentials to your volunteers. Chairman hats will be here next week according to my vendor, so we will start issuing those from the credential office as well. I've had a few chairmen that have gone into the equipment list and they're ordering their chairman hats on the equipment list. The chairman hats will be issued by how the names appear on the chairman list. So if you have someone that you want to get a chairman hat for, they're going to have to be on the chairman list. So please update that as needed. Volunteer t-shirts. We do have a commitment from Signature Flight again this year, so we will be having volunteer t-shirts. We will also have the option to buy extra t-shirts, and hopefully I will be getting that information to you by email this next week, along with a link for you to purchase. And I believe the prices are staying basically the same as they were last year. Okay, one of the things that we had to update with the credential database was the way we're doing the Core Pass request. And either my emails are not coming out very clearly, or this is just completely confusing for everyone, but I just want to go over a little bit about how we need to do our Core Pass request. Please understand that the request that you had last year no longer exists. We wiped it clean. If you are requesting a Core, if you are requesting a Core Pass for a vehicle that is issued by Sun and Fun, that means that it appears on your equipment list, you have to request your Core Pass with that piece of equipment. So you need to go back to your equipment list and ask for your Core Pass on your courtesy car or your golf cart. Yes, I said courtesy car. Please remember, if you have a licensed vehicle that you get a purple pass for, a red pass, green pass, and you have to go in the core area for some reason, that pass will also require a core sticker. This is a change from last year. So you will need to add that core sticker request to the piece of equipment on your equipment request. If you are requesting a core sticker for a personal vehicle, golf cart that one of you or one of your volunteers are bringing to the event, you must add the core request on the credential side under where you're adding the vehicle. I've gotten all kinds of strange requests, especially on the equipment side. Someone wanted a core sticker for a generator light, some tables and chairs. So please make sure you're adding the core request to the piece of equipment that you need it for. The other thing I'm going to have to say is there's a little block there that says, please give me the purpose of the request. Your name's not going to get it. You're going to have to tell me why you need the Core Pass. So please give me that information so I can determine what your need is and get it approved. Okay, and there's probably going to be some snafus with all of this year, but please work with me. We're going to try to make it a complete science at some point where it'll be really easy, but right now there's we're just going to have to test the waters on it. Okay, the next thing is the volunteer handbook. It is currently being updated for this year. This is a really important piece of information. I try to update it as late as I can so we can get as much information in it that you can share with your volunteers. We include Wi-Fi information, the texting information, just a lot of really good information that needs to be shared with your volunteer workforce. Once I have this, I will email it to the chairman. It will also be placed on the Sun and Fun, the main Sun and Fun website in the chairman info area. This, along with the program book, the info guide, and the map, are something that you should have in your area so your volunteers can reference them. Everyone here needs to be a Sun and Fun ambassador when our guests are here. We need to be able to answer questions. It's very, very important, not only that you know this information, but you tell your volunteer workforce, and they learn their event as well. Okay, I mentioned last month, and I haven't really visited. I'm not seeing Rich Denton here. Oh, no? Okay. Please add your volunteer lunch request to the system. I don't know if, I haven't looked at it lately. I don't know who all has done so, but this is very important so they can get their food orders together. So please do that as quickly as you can. You still have time to submit Chairman Award nominations. The form is also on the Chairman info page on the main Sun and Fun website. I believe we have 4 or 5 nominations at this point. Please submit this as quickly as you can so the committee that reviews these requests can make their decisions and get the awards ordered for the process. We want our volunteers to receive these during the fly-ins, and this is a very important honor. There is a page actually on the website where you can go and see a listing of everyone who has received this and the man hours that equate has been given to this event, and it's very, very amazing. One thing I mentioned kind of last year or last month, time flies, budget rental car will be moving this year. They have been out in one of the business offices in Lakeland Airside Center. We are actually relocating them back into the event site. They're going to be on the south side of Doolittle Road across from the tram depot. And we hope that will make them a little bit more centralized, located, and more visible to not only you guys who go and pick up cars, but our guests. So we have updated our maps. So just help spread the word. If somebody's here to pick up their budget car, they will be relocating this year. Ian McKee has asked me to announce that the VIP host team will be having a meeting after this meeting concludes today. I want to wish you guys a very happy, safe fly-in. 40 years, that's a big year, and I'm very glad that I'm here to share it with you. Thank you very much. Oh, I have one more thing. Sorry, I missed this. Last month I gave you a listing of new chairmen for the fly-in. These are new chairmen since last month. We have Bill Williams, who's going to be doing our car show, Bob Edenfield, who's going to be running our volunteer center, Mary Jane Smith David, who has taken over. We've separated Homebuilt Camping from Homebuilt, and she's going to be doing the Homebuilt Camping, and Nicole Lazario for OX5. I'm going to invite Nancy Leanouts up.
I'm hungry. Let's go. All right. I have a couple of things. Ooh, I just knocked that thing off. All right. The first thing I want y'all to know is the national anthem is going to be performed each day of the air show this year by students. No more old people like me and others. So our students are going to be auditioning, and they are going to be performing the anthem every day this year, and hopefully for years to come. The 927 rented chalet area is a very special opportunity for us to hopefully gain new potential partners and give our high-dollar sponsors a nice area to relax and enjoy an upscaled tent facility. So we do have a couple of days that are available. If you know of a company local that would like to rent one of our chalets for a period of time for a gathering, it's front row seating for the air show, a great opportunity. So if you know of anybody, please let me know. We have a great greeting team and transportation team that will bring those folks straight to this area, and Ann McKee's done a great job in gathering these folks up. So let us know if there's anybody out there that might have an interest in some of the available days. Sue Tarver has asked me to remind everyone a couple of important things. These signs that she and her team make are expensive. It is your responsibility to pick them up from her. It is your responsibility to put them in their proper places for the show. It is your responsibility to then pick them back up at the end of the show and clean them, and then it is your responsibility to store them so that we can use them next year's event, and not have to repeat that expense. So thank you very much. The last thing I'm going to mention is last year we did notice that the folks driving around in the golf carts weren't quite so willing to stop and pick up passengers as the year before, and it did come to our attention. So I'm going to ask you, please, please, if you have a golf cart and someone stops you and asks you for a ride, if they're going in the direction you're going, and you can kindly say, I'm going to the so-and-so, I can take you that far. If they're going in another direction, say, there'll be another golf cart coming by, hopefully they can take you in the other direction. But let's not ride around with empty golf carts. They're expensive, and let's utilize them, particularly if you see somebody that looks like they need a ride. You can stop and ask that person, do you want a ride? So let's be good stewards, and let's have a happy show. We love you guys. This is Lights and Eyes' third fly-in, and oh my gosh, it's just as exciting now as it was 3 years ago. We love you volunteers so much.
And she means it. You better put somebody up and kill him. Okay. What would be a 40th birthday without the most important part of any celebration is a parade? Pat Quinn.
Good morning. In case you don't know about the volunteer parade, that's our chance to catch our breath and to start over. It started years ago when the air safety, ground safety, would get together the first thing in the morning to go out to work, and they would ride through our campground and on their motorcycles, and they made a lot of noise. My husband was one of them. He was the leader. And it just developed. Other people started joining them. And Freddie was the Grand Marshal for a number of years. But once he passed away, it was decided that every year a different area would be the Grand Marshal for the parade. And it is my pleasure this year to announce that the Grand Marshal will be General Aviation Parking with Donna France runs that area out there, and everybody loves to work. She has somewhere around 100 volunteers through the week. How many? Okay, and she treats them real good. I hear she serves ice cream out there. So we start the parade right out here in front of the building. Be gathering by 7:15 in the morning, a little before. We leave at 7:30, and go out through the campground and wake our guests up and holler good morning to them. We'll get back here by 8 o'clock, and lights, you can use some of those people for your 40. Yeah, and decorate your golf carts or your bicycles or whatever, and join us. It's a lot of fun. It's noisy. It only takes a few minutes, but it's fun.
Where'd it go? Sunday morning. Sunday. We're doing a Thursday this year for Volunteer Day, right? Thursday. Okay? Thursday. Where did you do it? I knocked off the little buzz ball on this thing.
Oh, no.
Apparently not. Okay. All right, there we go. All right, couple of quick things before you grab lunch here. I forgot to mention, during the Thursday, we'll also be doing the Graham Gates Memorial Library in the high school, because we've separated out in the library. It used to be in the double wide. We separated out from general aviation books that are interesting to youth, and they went into the high school. All the reference books, manuals, historical, they have gone into the top of the museum, and they are now. I put new lights up there. We have access, so it will be. We're going to advertise that as if you've got an aviation question, the answer's in the attic, and we will have access for the public to get up there. Our average attendance going into the library over the last few years has been about 3 to 4 people. We're trying to get that out to the world that we have a library, it's accessible, and take full use of it. The book will sell to the general public. This is the Unfreeze Your Bird book. It sells to the general public. Soft cover is $20. The hardcover is $30. For all of the volunteers, it's $15 and $25. And those will be available prior to the show, either in the museum gift supply or Bud Davidson's trailer, if you can catch him. But they were $15 for the softbound, $25 for the hardbound, and you ask him nice, you'll probably sign it. Our forward in there is done by Bob Hoover. Okay, not sure Bob's going to make it. I don't know, did Bob commit or not? We're still waiting. He has not turned us down, but he is not committed either. Lastly, the golf cart use is crucial to the success of Sun and Fun. Please use the golf cart paths. 9 to 5 or 5:30 each day, the air show's going on, people are in the core area. Please do not transit through there unless it's absolutely mandatory. Cruising and looking and gawking is not mandatory. That's for walking. Take your time. Enjoy the exhibits. The golf cart is there for business to get you from a position of effort to another place to do business. It is not a pleasure vehicle. You don't see golf carts rolling around Disneyland, do you? They go on their feet. Please do that. Help us make that core area a pedestrian-friendly environment. We have created on the website and in hard form a volunteer voice. If you've got an issue, if you have a problem, if you see a way to do things better, because Lord knows we do not have the market cornered on good ideas. You do. Please put it down. If you've got an answer to a problem, we'd appreciate that. But even if you can only designate a problem, we'll take that as well. It goes either in a response back in our email to us that you can send in and we'll respond to that, or you can put it in a hard copy piece of paper into our box that says volunteer voice, and we'll try to get, if it's an anonymous, then we will broadcast that back out to the world, what we're doing with that issue. So we're trying to get more sensitive to what we don't know about. If we don't know about it, we can't fix it. If you know about it and tell us, we can go to work on it. With that, any questions at all? Anybody have any issues? We missed something? The queen of the parade, Donna France. $3 o'clock. I just said it, so it's going to happen. 3 o'clock. Anybody have anything else? We good? We happy? I'm happy. We're thrilled. Happy 40th. Let's make it a special one for everybody. Thanks for